I bumped into a series of fortunate events, I guess, a country music singer. And Joe, and he was inviting us to come look at it at his place because he heard we were in town, a small town, out in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, okay, let's go look at it. And so we go over there, and it was shocking. About 5 or 10 minutes into this conversation, I'm like, this guy hadn't said one cuss word. He doesn't seem real arrogant, which was, most famous people that we've run up on, you're like, oh boy. It just goes to their head. But as the day went on, I was like, well, man, this was the treasure of this venture, meeting this guy. His name was Aaron Watson. Have you ever heard of him, Al? Country music singer. Aren't you a country music buff?
I am not, Jace. I had a little small rebellious phase when I was in high school with the old outlaw country, but I haven't kept up with modern country music, so I'm not aware of this person.
Well, he had a fantastic property, and we enjoyed it. And of course, I was more impressed, because I found out he's a believer, and he didn't really go about the way to become a star like everybody else. He writes his music and sings it, and he was selling his CDs out of the back of his truck, when he went through college, and that's just what he does. But it was an incredible story just about how to become successful without really going the typical way. It's just, if you're good at something, which I was thinking, and he was obviously giving credit to the Lord. I just feel like everybody has something they're good at. And if you decide to make it a platform for your faith and the Lord and be unapologetic about it, I just believe the Lord blesses you. But I will say this. This guy was a storyteller that rivals Uncle Si. Great, like story after story. But, the difference was most of these seem true. Where Si, you're like, I don't know. I don't know about you. Uncle Si tells that story about he's running so fast that his tennis shoes exploded into flames because the friction that it caused. That. Come on now. But I thought I'd share that because it's always nice, because I know how difficult it is. Fame and fortune can be spiritual killers. But it's nice to meet somebody famous who's using it for something better and hasn't exchanged their character. I need to see if I can get him. I wonder if he'll come on the podcast. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen. He gave me his number, so I'll say. I just thought he had a neat story, and so I was like, I want to share that. You can do things the right way and be successful. You don't have to exchange. I was talking about Judas, the last podcast. You don't have to exchange your character and your integrity and morals to try to be successful in life in shady ways.
Yeah, who's the little blonde-headed chick from Tennessee? The country singer that's 50 years, Dolly Parton. Yeah, I saw her on about an hour show yesterday, and she kept her faith intact. Her husband, few people have ever seen him, but he's there. No divorces, no friction, no bad years that come across. But she just stayed the course, and she was celebrating her 50 years with the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, which is rare.
It was pretty interesting that she kept her faith, and she ended it all up, which is pretty good in lieu of the podcast I think we did last time.
Well, you got to have something.
Love.
Yeah, you got to have something character-driven, Phil, because you're basically, let's face it, when it comes to being famous, it's usually a flash in the pan.
That's right.
And so why turn your back on your character and your morals and in our case, Jesus, for something you're going to lose anyway. Mm-hmm. And eventually you will lose it.